My high school bully mocked my cheap suit. Then I bought the bank that owns his life. He looked at my suit, smirked, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "Still shopping in the discount section, huh?" The whole room laughed. Just like high school. What he didn't know? That cheap suit was tailored, and the bank that financed his house, his cars, his entire lifestyle, I was in the process of buying it. Welcome back to the channel. This one is about patience, growth, and the kind of comeback that takes years, but lands in seconds. But before we get into it, where are you watching from right now? Drop your country and city in the comments. I love seeing how far these stories reach across the world. And if you enjoy powerful comeback stories, shocking twists, and moments where karma comes full circle, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Because sometimes, the quiet kid in the cheap suit is just waiting for the right moment. In high school, Tyler was the star quarterback whose dad owned the local dealership. He spent 4 years making sure I knew I was the help because my mom cleaned his house. 10 years later at our reunion, Tyler arrived in a rented Lamborghini, wearing a watch that cost more than my first car. I showed up in a plain black suit and a 15-year-old sedan. Tyler saw me and laughed so hard he nearly spilled his scotch. He told the whole room I was still the janitor's kid and offered to tip me $20 if I'd park his car. He didn't realize that in those 10 years, I hadn't been cleaning, I'd been acquiring. And the first thing on my list to acquire was the debt that kept Tyler's perfect life afloat. The ballroom of the Plaza Hotel is filled with alumni. Tyler is at the center of a circle, loudly bragging about his real estate empire. "Look at you, Leo," Tyler shouted, loud enough for everyone to turn around. "Still wearing off-the-rack polyester? I guess the scholarship kid never learned how to make real money. Hey, tell you what, my firm needs a new courier. I'll pay you double whatever you're making at that, what was it, data entry job?" Focus. The protagonist reveals his knowledge of Tyler's crumbling finances, and the secret benefactor reveal. The atmosphere. I didn't get embarrassed. I didn't even raise my voice. I just checked my watch, a simple piece with no diamonds but a movement that cost 6 figures, and smiled. "I appreciate the offer, Tyler," I said, leaning against the bar, "but I don't think your firm can afford my salary, especially considering you just lost the Pacific Heights contract this morning, and your line of credit at First National, it was frozen at 4 p.m. today." Tyler's face turned the color of a rare steak. "How do you know about my credit? You've been stalking me?" "I don't need to stalk you, Tyler. I'm the chairman of Summit Capital. We just finalized the acquisition of First National Bank. I spent my afternoon reviewing the high-risk accounts. Your name was at the very top of the foreclosure list." Focus. The total collapse of the bully's ego, the public eviction from his fake lifestyle, and the final lesson on true wealth. "You're lying," Tyler hissed, though he was sweating through his $2,000 shirt. "You're just some kid from the trailers." "I was a kid from the trailers," I replied, pulling a legal document from my inner pocket. "But now I'm your landlord. This hotel we're standing in? My company owns it. Your Lamborghini outside? It's registered to a shell company that I just liquidated. Security is actually outside right now, loading it onto a flatbed." The popular crowd started backing away from Tyler like he was radioactive. His empire was revealed for what it was, a house of cards built on borrowed money and stolen pride. "Leo, come on," Tyler whispered, his bravado gone. "We were just joking around. For old time's sake, you can't take the car. I have to drive the guys to the after-party." "You can take the bus, Tyler. It's $2.50. I'll even give you that $20 tip you offered me earlier so you can buy a pass for the month." I left the $20 bill on the bar and walked out. Tyler was left standing in the middle of the room, holding a glass of cheap scotch and a mountain of debt. People think money is about showing off. They think it's about being the loudest person in the room, but real money is silent. It's the power to walk into your past and rewrite the ending. Tyler wanted to park his car. I decided to park his whole life, and honestly, the walk home never felt better. The music in the ballroom seemed to dip as Tyler laughed. His friends, mostly guys who still peaked in 2014, were smirking, waiting for me to stutter or slink away. I just took a slow sip of my sparkling water and looked at Tyler's wrist. "That's a nice watch, Tyler," I said, my voice calm enough to cut through his laughter. "Patek Philippe? Or is it the super clone you bought in Dubai last month to keep up appearances while your development project in the East End stalled?" Tyler's smirk didn't just fade, it twitched. "What are you talking about? My projects are fine. I'm moving into the penthouse at the Meridian next week." "Actually, Tyler," I said, pulling my phone out and showing him a notification from a private banking app. "The Meridian was just bought by a private equity group. They canceled all pending residential leases this morning. They're turning the penthouse into their new regional headquarters." Tyler grabbed his phone, his thumb shaking as he tried to log into his bank portal. You're full of it, Leo. You're a nobody. How would you know anything about the Meridian? Because I signed the acquisition papers at 3 p.m. today, I replied. I'm the managing partner of Apex Holdings. We didn't just buy the building, Tyler. We bought your debt from First National. You owe my firm $1.2 million in bridge loans that defaulted at midnight. I wasn't coming here to park your car. I came here to see if the guy who owes me 7 figures was really as successful as his Instagram says. I leaned in closer so only he could hear. The funny thing about honesty dinners and reunions, Tyler, is that the truth always comes out. You're not a mogul. You're a collection of leased parts, and I just hit the repo button. A heavy silence fell over the circle. The alumni who had been nodding at Tyler's stories were now taking a synchronized step back. The successful quarterback looked like he was about to be sacked for the final time. Suddenly, a valet burst into the ballroom looking frantic. Mr. Sterling? Mr. Tyler Sterling? There's a flatbed outside for the Lamborghini. They said the lease was terminated due to violation of financial terms. They're hooking it up right now. Tyler's face went from red to a sickly ashen white. There's been a mistake. I'll call my accountant. Don't bother, Tyler, I said, checking the time. Your accountant already spoke to my legal team. He told us your real estate empire is actually a series of shell companies with zero assets. You didn't even own the watch, did you? It's a rental, too. Tyler turned to his friends, the guys who had been laughing with him just 5 minutes ago. Hey, guys, back me up here. We're doing the after party at the club, right? My table is reserved. His best friend checked his phone, avoiding eye contact. Actually, Tyler, my wife just texted. The babysitter has to leave. I gotta go. One by one, they melted into the crowd, leaving Tyler standing alone in the center of the dance floor. I reached into my pocket and pulled out a crisp $20 bill. I walked over and tucked it into the breast pocket of his custom jacket. Here, I said softly. The valet said the tow truck driver won't let you ride in the cab. You're going to need a ride home. That should cover an Uber, or at least a very long bus ride. Leo, please, Tyler stammered, his ego finally shattered. If the bank forecloses, I have nothing. My dad will disown me. Then I guess it's time you did what you told me to do 10 years ago, Tyler. Get to work. I walked out of the plaza through the front doors. I didn't wait for a valet. I got into my old reliable sedan and drove away. As I passed the curb, I saw Tyler standing on the sidewalk watching his rented dream disappear on the back of a tow truck. People think wealth is about the loud car and the shiny watch. But true wealth is the peace of mind that comes from knowing you don't owe anyone a damn thing, and the power to make sure the people who treated you like nothing finally learn the value of something. The reunion was a success. I caught up with the past, and then I closed the account.